Hey everybody, how you doing? Glad to see you and welcome to my video. This is going to be so cool. This is an exclusive to my channel with this whole thing with the Beatles rooftop, which is going to be awesome to see. That is for sure. So I hope you stick around and watch my video because I got some cool stuff to show in this one. And I'm really excited to do this. As a Beatle fan, this is absolutely awesome. Actually, I saw Let It Be in 1980 when also they were showing the Paul McCartney movie rock show. So yeah, in the theater. So this is the last time I saw Let It Be in the theater, but this is just the rooftop. So this will be fun to see. And this is in the IIMAX. So that'll be all right. So here we go. Let's go in. All right, here I am in the theater, getting ready to watch this. This is going to be awesome. They're showing Beatle clips before the movie starts of the rooftop. So this is in the theater. Hardly anybody's in here, but this is just awesome. Really cool. Loving the pictures. Due to copyright, I won't be able to show that much, so I'm just only going to show a few clips here and there. So stay tuned. Here we go. Yay! Beatles, Beatles, Beatles. Look at this. This is really cool. This is the getting ready for the whole show, but this is really neat. I wanted to show you this poster that they're showing on the screen right now. Look at that. Get ready, and the theater started to show up a little bit with people. Back it up a little bit. It's so dark, but you can't see. But anyway, just thought I'd show you that. Alrighty.
Here at the IIMAX in London, and welcome to this exclusive screening of the Beatles Get Back, the rooftop concert. Now, this is a very special screening as we're connected live with 68 other IMAX cinemas around the US. As you may know, the Beatles Get Back was compiled from over 60 hours of unseen footage originally shot in 1969, and it's a unique and intimate insight into the band's relationships and working methods as they plan their forthcoming album, concert and film project. The film features for the first time in its entirety the Beatles' last live performance as a group, the unforgettable rooftop concert on London Savile Row, which took place exactly 53 years ago today. But before we play the film, I have the absolute pleasure of welcoming the director and producer, Peter Jackson, who is joining us live from New Zealand to answer some of your questions. Hello, Peter, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good. And this is, I can confirm that this is live. I know I've seen things that it's going to be a pre-recorded tape thing, but it is live. I'm looking behind your shoulder. I can see yellow shirt man. Hello, yellow shirt man. Blue shirt man. Yes, right.
Thank you so much for doing this. It is a remarkable piece of work. So we're going to ask you a couple of questions about. First of all, why do you think the rooftop concert is such an important part of the Beatles' legacy?
Well, look, there's many answers to that. Obviously, it's important because it's their final concert, etc., etc. But what I kind of think, really, and I didn't used to think this, I never really liked the rooftop concert when I saw bits of it in documentaries at all. I was sort of thinking about the Let It Be narrative and the depression, and it all felt a bit dark and grainy and gloomy, and I thought I don't understand what this rooftop concert thing is. It's historically important, but having now gone through obviously the last 4 years, I just think it's the greatest piece of film of the Beatles performing that actually exists. I mean, you can say Shea Stadium is amazing, you know, Ed Sullivan, all the live film, but where else do you see them perform where you've got handheld cameras getting right up in their face, big close-ups of their fingers on the strings? You've got the camera coverages, you know, that Michael Lindsay Hogg and Tony Richmond shot is so dynamic and so amazing. And the Beatles were never ever filmed in that way in any live performances. So apart from anything to do with the actual performance or the historical aspect of it, I just think it's the greatest film footage that exists of them performing, doing a live show, really. It's amazing. It's so modern. It feels so fresh and modern.
Yeah. After all the sort of back and forth as to where the concert was going to take place, and if you watch the other films, I'm sure people here have, there's a lot of different options are talked about. Was ending up on the roof of Apple, on Apple's headquarters, do you think that was the kind of ideal outcome in the end?
Well, George Harrison says it best in the on one of the days when they're at Savile Row. If anyone's seen the full Get Back series, you've seen it, when he just says, look, the best things that happen to us are the things that aren't planned. we just start something and we don't really know where it's going, and it usually ends up okay. And this is a classic example of that, where they kind of stumble their way into this, and for various reasons they didn't really. The day before they didn't even know if they were going to do it. The morning of, they didn't really know if they were going to ultimately step up there, but they did it, and as a very typical Beatles fashion, it's become one of the most famous concerts of them all time. A famous concert that up to about half an hour before it starts, they didn't even know if they'd do it or not. It's a very Beatley thing, and it's just a chance to. What I like about it is the time travel aspect of it. I like the vox pops in the street. I like seeing people talking in 1969. I mean, there's not that much footage of just normal people saying normal things in 1969, unscripted. That again is kind of a modern phenomenon, the vox pop, and yet here we are doing it in '69. So I like that aspect of it as well. In the corner there's a picture. Now there's actually 10 of these. All the cameras are named, but at this point only one camera is going. So I'm going to press the play button, and I'll just play about 30 seconds of it. Now this is the cameras turning on and off. This is the real synchronized. There's the second camera going on. Third camera, fourth camera, fifth camera, sixth camera, seventh camera, and now one after 9:09 starts. Eighth camera. But down here in New Zealand, where we did our mixing, we don't have an IIMAX mixing suite, because IIMAX has its own bespoke sound, which you guys are going to be lucky enough to hear today, which is multiple speakers, way more than you used to. So that had to have a whole new mix. So it had to be mixed in the UK. We couldn't do it here, and we couldn't get over to the UK. So we asked Giles Martin if he could supervise the IIMAX sound mix, and he said sure. And it turns out there's only one IIMAX sound mixing theatre in the UK. It's not a cinema, it's a special behind the scenes. And do you know, and I just love this as a Beatles fan, do you know where the IIMAX sound theatre is? Do you know where it is?
In Abbey Road?
No, it's in, just think full circle, Twickenham.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, Twickenham Studios. I was going to say Abbey Road too.
Really, this project, Get Back, started on the 2nd of January 1969 in Twickenham, and in a way this IIMAX sound mix that you're going to hear today is sort of the end of it, and it happened back in Twickenham again. And I was just happy to see that they were 4 decent, nice guys. No, there wasn't really anything we weren't able to use. I guess one of the frustrations is because so much of it is shot in a dark room, not the rooftop. The rooftop looks fantastic, but when you're at Twickenham or Savile, well, more so Twickenham than Savile Row, it's a very dark environment, which means that the depth of field is very low, which means a lot of the shots are not really sharp. They're sort of out of focus. And certainly there was a lot of moments where we had things that we wanted to use, and the shot was very out of focus. And at the end of the day, we used most of those. That's why there's so many soft shots in the finished product. Because I just thought you either you use it or you don't, and the fact it's out of focus doesn't diminish the historical kind of quality of this. So it was hard. We tried to sharpen things as much as we could, and when the whole 8 hours, just to look at it just before it went out on air, and my memory, my sort of feeling of that is it feels like you're almost watching a drama. It feels like in some respects, you feel like you are watching a scripted drama when the guys are talking and you think, oh, is this, this could be a modern streaming show on the Beatles, what happened to the Beatles in January '69, and they could have just found incredible actors to play the 4 Beatles. We could be looking at a drama, because even though it's a documentary and it is all real, it just somehow feels like it has a sort of dramatized feel to it. So I don't know if I've answered the question, sorry, but it's a weird thing. It sort of sits in your mind. Is that real, or is it staged, or is it? No, I mean it's all real. Hundreds of people to actually kind of make things happen for you. And poor old Michael Lindsay Hogg was trying to make all this stuff happen, and it looked like there was about 2 people that were sort of on his team, sort of thing. But I kind of think that they slowly overcome all the obstacles they overcome, and then the moment they step out on the rooftop, you're with them. You just think, guys, come on, do it. You're so much on their side, And the first take of Get Back, you know, as you'll see, is a bit shaky. You know, the first time they do the shortest sounder chick in the world, which I love. I love when Paul does that first guitar strum on his bass, and then they do like a 10-second sound check. Okay, sound check done. Everyone's staring up at the roof, and then they launch into Get Back. The first take's a bit shaky, and you can feel their nerves. You can feel how nervous they are in the first take of Get Back. Then they get the word to do it again, because they're recording these as well as performing them, so they want to get good recordings on tape. It's become a little bit of a cult figure. Is Ray Dagg, Constable Ray Dagg, who's the young constable, 18-year-old constable who you know, is the main wound up cop who sort of shuts it all down. So we got Ray up on the roof. Here's a little bit of a Ray.
These days, policing has changed much. In those days, it was just to get the job done, and they had to stop as far as I was concerned. But I don't see. I don't know what more than.
So we have. When I say we, I mean Apple. We interviewed dozens of people. A lot of the cameramen we interviewed. You know, obviously we spoke to Ringo, we spoke to Paul. You know, we did huge interviews with Michael and Hall. And we sort of thought, well, if I'm talking to all these people to get their memories just for my interest, we may as well have a camera and film them at the same time, because it's historic. They're all very elderly now, and we should really just record it for posterity. So yeah, the two parts of that question is, yeah, we didn't restore the footage that was used in the documentary. We restored everything, because part of what we wanted to do was the archive of footage when we inherited it or took it over from Apple, or they sent it to us, was in a bit of a, Apple had done work on it over the years. So the anthology, I think they went through it all and tried to organise it a bit. But it was still very much, some days were labelled as day, 14, and they were really day 15, and they were mislabelled. There was a lot of sort of disorganisation in it. So we really tried to tidy it all up, put everything in strict order that the cameras were rolling in, and get it. And so we wanted to return them, the entire archive, restored in good shape for future use. So yeah, they've got everything, all the whole of it in full quality restoration. All the stuff that we didn't use has been returned to them for their future use. And look, we've got a Blu-ray coming out in a few weeks, and that is exactly the same as people saw on Disney Plus. And that's generally what happens initially. I'm hoping there's no confirmation of anything at all, and in fact Disney are a bit reluctant, to be honest, but I'm hoping that at some point I'll get the chance to do an extended cut, because there's certainly, I'd love to put some full-length performances of the songs in, some songs that we didn't include at all, and there's also conversations that I think are pretty historically interesting that should probably be seen at some point. I'm just worried that anything we didn't use is going to be locked away for 50 years again now. So there's 2 or 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours that I think would be great to actually get out there, just because it's historically important. So but there's no plans to, and I'm hoping some light bulb will go on in somebody's head at some point, and I'll get a phone call.
Getting applause from London. Thank you so much.
The best thing I could say to everybody in IIMAX is, if anybody wants to see anything more beyond what we showed in the Disney Plus series, please just write to Disney and write to Apple and ask them, because that's all anyone can do. I have no control over it, and I have my opinions, but I'm also, it's not, the footage doesn't belong to me. It's not mine, and I respect that. So, but public pressure does can work at times.
Thank you very much, Peter Jackson. Thank you, Peter. Before we start, we do have to remind you that IIMAX and Disney take piracy very seriously, so tonight security will be monitoring for any use of recording devices during the screening, so make sure your phones are switched off. However, if you want to tag at the Beatles and at IIMAX, hashtag the Beatles Get Back on your social media posts, that would be lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're now out of the film, and this is one of my friends, Steve, who's a big Beatles fan too. And so, show your poster. There you go, Steve. So, what did you think of the film of The Rooftop?
well, aside from sitting close to you, I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And I'm glad I went. Just to get the full concept and the context of it really brought to light something that I just kind of had a mystery about. I just wasn't sure exactly what songs they played and how long they played them for. But seeing the other little tidbits in between the music, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I went.
And you guys might remember this face. This is Tommy.
Who?
No, not the Who. This is went to go see the Beatles.
I thought I was here for a Stones movie. I don't know.
Tommy has a channel. You guys know Tommy.
Hey guys, Tommy's Musical Adventures. Check it out. You know
Yeah. Make sure you see Tommy. So Tommy,
Hey.
we're just coming out of the movie. What did you think of the Get
I
Back?
thought it was fantastic. It was everything I'd hoped for and more. The sound was phenomenal. To see the Beatles on the IMAX screen in live and living color, so to speak. You know, what an amazing performance. What an amazing set. And just to watch all of it unfold in real time. I love the multi-camera angles that Peter Jackson used. It was a little different from what we saw on Disney. So it was very cool to see everything. You know, I think Paul McCartney in that moment, just watching his body language and the faces he makes and the way he reacts to everything, I think he really was hoping the police would just arrest him that day.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was wow.
Yeah.
That's all I can say is what a great experience.
Yeah.
What a great time. I'm very, very glad and grateful that I got to see.
Thanks,
this
Tommy, for
performance.
doing it with me, and also thank you, Steve, for doing it with me too.
Hey, wow, my goodness. Two of my friends went with me to go see the rooftop of the Beatles. It was absolutely fantastic. I don't know if I can put into words. It was such an emotional thing to see this. I mean, really, it really was. To see this on a big screen, you really enjoyed it a whole lot more than just seeing it like on TV. So this was a special treat, once in a lifetime of doing this, by seeing this live as a global, worldwide hookup satellite, to see this with you, to kind of share a little bit of clip of it. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed seeing this and talking to two of my friends and what you thought of it. I thought it was just phenomenal. I really am going to be taking it in for days and weeks and months. So every time when I see the rooftop or hear any of it, I definitely will think about this. So that's for sure.
Okay, here's a close-up of the IMAX poster and backstage pass that they gave us. And then I thought I'd put in my Beatle figures just to end out this video, just to show this to you. But anyway, well, for those of you who couldn't make it, I'm so sorry. But I wanted to do this exclusively for you on my channel to let you be a part of it. And I thank you so very much for watching. And as I say on my channel, I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. See you on the next video.